Hey, Freedom Rose here, and oops, I realized I need to put another log on. Hold on. We're in the cold of winter, and it's important to keep the logs going. I came back over here, and look what they gave me. And this was in the couch inside this little bag. Look, from my angels, just saying good job. And look at pink bow. They've been giving me bows ever since the first of the year. Not sure why, other than tied together, a gift, right? What that might symbolism, if you can think of some other things, share with me. So we're here today about, first of all, I don't know if you all have resolutions. It's the new year, but I'm 5 years sober from chocolate. This is huge for me because chocolate is grounding for me. And I was eating a lot. I was a chocoholic. Yeah, not sugar. No, I was doing 100%, 95, 90 cocoa, a whole bar a day. Not good. And my tummy didn't like it. I have a hernia, hiatal hernia, and it was saying, okay, enough. So I have been 5 days, and guess what? I can do it. I'm good, right? I am good. And I've lost, not since the first of the year, but one of my other things is I've lost 17 pounds. Yay for me, right? Because Isaiah is such a wonderful cook. And so what our subject is today about dreams. I don't know about you, but this is a big transformation. It's the 9th year in the cycle, and it's about releasing old things. And dreams help us. And dreams, your angels can come to you in dreams. And the morning actually of the 11th, or yesterday, I woke with a very like what the heck dream. And the reason I'm wearing this today, because it had a bobcat in it that was very significant. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to first share the dream with you, something very private, but I think it's important you see the cycle of the dream and how we pull things from the dream. For my deeper thinkers, remember, put our ego aside, right? Put our ego aside and thinking out of the box. So dreams are one of those things. And I've had dreams that, there's one dream in particular that I had 40 years ago. How old am I? Yeah, 40 plus years ago, that still stuck with me, that I only discovered the meaning of it this year when it came to fruition. So dreams can be something for the present, or it can be something coming to just kind of, it didn't bring me peace. I'm telling you, it was a horrible nightmare at the time, and it didn't make any sense until now. And maybe it's because I'm supposed to share it with you, to make you understand, not make you, that's a terrible, I don't like that word, to help you understand your dreams and how sometimes nightmares can really be gifts. 3/24, my birthday. Okay, so I'm going to read the dream, and then we're going to go over the highlights of what each thing that we might look at in the dream, and try to put some meaning to it. The names in here are fictitious, just to keep privacy in my own life. And so when there's a name mentioned, it's not a real name. Okay, so I was with John and woke from sleeping in the car that was parked the wrong way. He was sleeping in the driver's seat, I in the passenger seat. The car was pulled to the side of the road, blocking an entrance to a parking lot next to the park in Vermont. We're just going to say that, okay? Because I forgot to put a new town in there. And all of these things have meaning. And for those of you that study my deeper thinkers that know dreams, you're already picking things out, aren't you? So here we go. It had rained before. The ground was wet outside, but no rain on the windshield. I woke disoriented, not knowing where we were or how we got there. I remember John's voice behind me as I was looking out the windshield, saying, "Look, they are already arriving." I turned to look out the back car window to see what he was referring to and realized that we were in Vermont. It was the 4th of July, and people were gathering to see the fireworks and festivities for the day. I could see people sleeping on the ground, specifically a woman and her 2 children that came the night before to get a good spot on the lawn. I am now out of the car looking at the park, filling up with families. I look back at our car, seeing how we are not in the appropriate place, and I turn to see cars coming past the park at us, agitated at me standing in the road, our car blocking some of the roadway. I lean into the window to tell John that we need to move the car. We are in their way, and he agrees. The next I know, we are home in a house. I am not at a familiar, I'm sorry, try that sentence one more time. The next I know, we are home in a house I am not familiar with, and he has gone to take a shower. It is present time, and he had let the dogs out in the backyard to play. We had 3 dogs. Now these are my dogs, and these are their real names. So this is present time for me. So this is current. The stream is about current time. Zoe, Zeke, and Ace, and a 4th we were watching for a friend. I believe the friend was my friend Jane, and her dog's name was Chloe. Chloe is a fake name as well, but it was the real name I used in the dream. So Chloe, I'm going to look up the word Chloe as well. A red, short-haired wiener dog. I was in the house and heard a noise in the backyard. It sounded like a cat hissing, but much bolder. I walked to the sliding glass door and stood to listen closer. There was a cemented area with no roof, 12 by 10 feet, 12 feet by 10 feet, that butted up to a room that jutted out on my left to complete the enclosure. So it was just a flat piece, and this building was off to the side that jutted out that 10 feet. There was a loosely placed wired fencing enclosure about 3 feet tall. I saw one of the dogs, a husky tail, ran by to the left. So I just saw one of the dog's tail rush by. I heard the noise again, and to my astonishment saw a bobcat crouched, glaring, looking right into my eyes. It was like, ooh, I've had this once before in real life. Growling fiercely, saying, I dare you. We are under a hunt, and you have interrupted. Eyes wide in intense pursuit of the dogs. His eyes never left mine until I turned my head. Then I noticed it was not alone. There were 3 more chasing the dogs. I could only see one dog and raced back to the house to get John, who was still leisurely in the shower. I was shouting in a panic, but he couldn't hear me over the shower. The fencing was compromised of 2 inch by 4 inch rectangles. So those little fencings, right? Like we have an additional barrier to our wood fencing in real time. So that's what I have on my own fencing. It's on the inside of a real fence. I stood there for a moment watching the bobcat chase after the dogs and was able to get Zoe and Zeke into the cemented area. So I opened it up and let the dogs in, but only Zeke and Zoe. All significant, okay? I do not remember Ace at this time, but I know he was not in danger. After they were in the fencing and into the house, I remember that I couldn't see Chloe, and I heard a lot of noise to my right. I then set my attention on a small structure with no door, where the door was open like a small wooden shed. She was red. The shed was red, slattered. Oh, sorry, I misspelled a word, so I'm going, yeah. The shed was red, slattered wood. It was lighted enough to see 3 cats had Chloe pinned down. I could see a long, open wound on her back, about 7 inches long and gaping open. You can imagine my heart. I was deep in sorrow. How was I going to tell my friend that these cats had killed her Chloe? I was devastated that this would happen in her trust and my care. I rushed into the house, and now there was a woman, tall, slender, and with short brown hair in front of me. We were pushing through a small passage to the left of the house. There were trash cans and foliage to the left, and on the side was wood-slatted, dark brown, 4-foot fence to our right. So over here was garbage cans, foliage, and over here was the right. And I remember going like this and sideways to try to get through all of this. So that's significant as well. We'll talk about that later. I remember it was such a narrow area we had to lift our arms to wiggle through. We went out of a gate, rushing to the side of the house where there was another cabin-looking fence. Another chain-link fence that was gated, leading to the same backyard. There were many people there. This touches my heart. This is part of the dream. Crowded around, holding Chloe. Children of all ages and a few adults, tapered back like they were having a photo taken. So they were, little children in front, taller, and then in the back were the adults. 25 to 30 people standing at the gate. They had heard my calling and came to rescue her. I remember a feeling of great joy and relief. Chloe was a little battered, but going to be fine. I woke. Okay, so there's a lot in this dream, and we're not going to cover everything, and I have not broken it down for what it means for me. So what we're going to talk about now, briefly, I did draw up some stuff for Bobcat. We're going to talk about Bobcat because that stands out. Why in the world is Bobcat here? And we're going to break down what some of the things that we would look at, especially the deeper thinkers, right? So my watchers, my friends that are here, that that was cool. That was a dream. 101, right? 102 is, wow, I'd like to know a little bit more about that dream. And then my deeper thinkers are saying, ooh, let's break this down. Now, mind you, because you're hearing this dream has something for you in it as well. Remember? If you're hearing it, there's something here for you. So I'm just going to go back and we're going to talk about each paragraph, what is just briefly. We're not going to make this long. So we're going to look at the characters. John, by the way, is the reason this was so important for me and why I remembered it, was my angel that brought on all of the reason I have Freedom Rose. Okay, so how significant is that? The reason he was the main character in the first part of the dream was my angel, and he hasn't come to me in very many dreams over the years. He maybe 30, 40 dreams, and he's been dead 30 years, okay? So when he shows up in my dreams, I go, ooh, it's time to listen. And he was a supporter here. He really was, what did they call that, supporting actor? He wasn't the main character, but very significant as well. So we'd look up why he's here. And for me, it's to get my attention, right? Ooh, he's here. And then I'm the passenger, he's the driver, right? So that's significant. And that we were blocking an entrance to a parking lot, okay? And that we were backwards on the road. Instead of facing the right direction, we were in the wrong lane and we were facing this way. That's significant as well. What does that mean to you, my deeper thinkers? Okay? And I may do my interpretation and come back on and tell you what it was. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to commit to that because that's personal, right? The fact that it had rained, but it was no longer raining, means something. That the ground is wet. And that David was giving me knowledge, right? Hey, look, There's people coming. And to me, that's, I will share a little bit. That's you guys. That's people coming, right? To see the fireworks, to see what's happening. And they're waiting, the ones that are waiting to hear as well, right? So I know this dream is about Freedom Rose. And a little bit about my personal life as well. Okay, so turn to look back. Let's see, it's 4th of July. We already covered that. Let's see. So the car's coming, right? The cars are coming. They're a little agitated because I'm in the way. Not sure what that means, but I'll look at that later. So we would pay attention to what do the cars mean that were coming. And the car had their lights on. Okay, the front leader and the lead, this is very important, I'm hearing. The lead car had its lights on, and people were following them, right? And maybe that means that I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. And they're waiting. They're coming. Get out of my way. We want to park. You're in my way, right? So that could be what the meaning is for me. Sorry, I keep leaning forward, but I'm trying to read this off my computer. I don't have a printer. I have to send my things. I have a printer, but it's not hooked up. I know. I need to get that done. Okay, so the next thing is the fencing. What does the fencing mean? What is the cemented area? There's no tables or chairs on this thing. It's very plain. Just a plain blank. And the fencing is important because what? It's not secured. There's no gate. It's temporary, right? It's temporary. But yet the cats, the bobcats, honored it, even though it was temporary and it was simple. They honored it. They did not try to come in the yard that was fenced off. So that's about protection, right? And it can be simple, and it could be temporary, or what do you call that? You can take it up and take it down. That's one of the things that it could mean. And you would pay attention to numbers in this. The size of the fencing for the in 1717, it just said, one with God, right? One with God. And protection from outside. And maybe it means I don't have enough protection, but it worked, right? It worked for what I needed. So let's get to, so I let the dogs in, and then we get to the actual bobcats. And the fact that Ace is not there, but I know he's okay, is symbolic. The name Chloe I'm going to look up as well. And the woman, what she represented as we were going to the, to find the good news. The fact that I was shouting and no one could hear me. I was alone on this journey, wasn't I? I was alone on this journey. But I wasn't, was I? I wasn't. Someone heard my shouts. Lots of people heard my shouts. And they, even though they didn't come into the yard, they were still behind the fencing. They were at the gate. That to me resembles, I don't know if it's real-time people, or it could resemble both. Real-time people here on the planet, or support, and the Angelic Realm, right? Guides and things that are helping, that brought Chloe to Savvy. I'm anxious. I want to analyze this and find out what Chloe represents for me, right? Because there's a very important part in that, and I'm anxious to figure that out for me, because I wanted to get this to you so quickly, because there's people out there that are having dreams and things. I know it's seeing people posting things. Excuse me, I'm getting dry. My cup, right? Cold drink in a hot cup, but I love my rose cup. So what else might be important in this before we close and I read about Bobcat? Well, you can look back at whatever it means to you, but I think that's enough on that. Oh, why did I take my glasses off? Okay, so I guess it's big enough to read without it. Making my nose stuffy because it sits on the edge of my nose. Okay, so Bobcat and Lynx, let's, I have two things on it. This one is from Medicine Cards publication. And 1988 and 1999 publication. by Jamie Sams and David Carson. Here's a little poem at the beginning. I love the way they do this in their books. They wrote a little poem to kind of get you stimulated, thinking for yourself, and then they go into more detail. You know, Bobcat and Lynx, you know the secrets so very well, the dream time and the magic, but you'll never tell. May I learn to hold my tongue, observe like the Sphinx, powerful yet silent, the medicine of Lynx. Okay, so that's the poem in front, and then they break it down a little bit more here. Bobcat Lynx information is about a very specific type of clairvoyance. Wonder what that would have to do with me. If this medicine is strong for you, you will get mental pictures concerning other people and the exact thing they have hidden, either from themselves or from others. Well, this is interesting for me. I'm going to share this part. I go to school at Psychic Horizons, and guess what we do there? We read people's energy. We look at past lives, symbolism that we see, and it's all pictures, right? We see pictures and we share them, the pictures, and then we do a healing afterwards. After that healing, we are allowed to find what's called a match, because that person is there for us. The universe sent that person what they're going through because something matches us. And then we do a healing on us. You really can't put a price on that, can you? When you're healing, can you put a monetary price on that? No, you can't. And I'm very grateful for the school. So this is why Bobcat's here for me, right? It's telling me about this. You will see their fears, their lies, and their self-deceptions. You will also know where they have hidden their treasures, right? If there is any, you simply know. And it's amazing how people, after I do the readings for them, they are just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you saw that, and thank you, right? So it says here, they have a disclaimer: unless you go to a professional paying your respect by offering something in return for their knowledge and gift, a blanket money or something, or gratitude. So they're telling you, if you are seeking out that kind of help, to be sure that you are giving back in some way. Maybe it's an exchange for some type of healing that you do. Maybe it's monetary. Maybe it's a blanket. Maybe it's food. But in some way that if you're seeking out help from someone and they're giving you a gift of healing, and you're using that gift, that you should be giving as well as receiving, but that balance that goes there, right? And then this was AI, I believe. And it was Bobcat and Lynx. It's about vision and insights, clear sight in dark places, seeing through illusions and hidden truths. Boy, are we having to do that right now. Lots of hidden truths. Patience and stealth, the ability to wait, blend in, and strike at the right moment, right? Solitude and independence, a need for alone time, for self-reflection and inner strength. I need that. I need that on a daily basis, and Isaiah respects that and gives me quiet time. It's a way I regenerate, I draw, I go outside and do a little walk, or just sit outside, but that's very important for me as well. Adaptability encourages flexibility and seizing opportunities. Duality can represent trickery in some tales, while others see them as heroes. I didn't read that right. Duality can represent trickery in some tales, while others see them as heroes or guardians. So it's all on your perception and what you're ready to see or want to see or need to see, right? They can represent duality as well. Thank you for being here today. I read a person that was super distraught this morning and left her a message. She was on my regular Facebook, I guess, and I really wasn't in that community yet, and they still have to accept it. But my comments. But if you're one of those that's not sleeping, maybe your guides are being pushy. This is what hers was. They were being pushy and scaring her in her dreams. Remember that you're in charge of yourself, and you're able to tell your guides and your angels and that you're in charge. They're not. That's another thing that I've learned in the school that was very surprising to me, because I had been, the last 15 or so years, I had been letting them be in charge. And so I have to tell them when I'm tired, I can't do this today. I love to give this message, but there's no time. Or they will be pushy sometimes, and I'll say, no, I'm sorry. I can't do that today. I have to do something else. And that's why I'm going to close this out, post it, and get back to my regular life of sewing Isaiah's pillow. Up on the wall is some of my, I want to close with this. There's my picture in Spain. No, I was in Lisbon because my friend took my picture, Christina. And there's Isaiah, right, watching me. So what does that symbolize? I don't know if you can see the picture very well, but I'm holding my hand out like this, saying, come. Me, Isaiah, watching as I ask you to come and listen to the messages every day, or once a month, or once a year. There's no numbers for me. I know these messages will get to the right person at the right time, in the right moment. Aho, amen. So it is. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to, this was for my Facebook people today, but I'm going to use it again, to subscribers to put yes and P in the comments so you can get an interpretive drawing. This month, you'll be in the drawing for the one person that gets to have an interpretive drawing. Aho, amen. So it is. Mwah.